Should ERLC be added to consoles? Well, that is something that is spoken about a lot within the ERLC community, and in this video we are going to talk about that a little bit more, talk about the pros of it, talk about the cons of it, and see overall if it's worth it or not. So if you enjoy or if you find it useful, drop a like and subscribe. But let's get straight into it. So the first thing that I want to speak about is that of course consoles can be good and will be good for ERLC. If they added ERLC to consoles, the straight up answer is yes, it will benefit the game in one way or another, but is it worth the amount of time it will take to add it to console? That is the question, and that's what's preventing it from currently being on console, because the amount of effort it would take to get it added to console is extremely difficult. I mean, think about it, even things like the chat, you literally can't chat on console. There is no way to send a message, which is why it doesn't really make that much sense. Like imagine playing ERLC but not being able to send any messages. Like in some console games they might have quick chats, but you can't really do that in ERLC. ERLC is a game where you interact with other players specifically, and if you can't do that because you can't talk to them, you can't use voice chat, then what's the point, if you know what I mean? Now of course, one of the good things about it being on console is that most other games are on console, so it would be following along with the line of other games being on console, and of course it being on console does give it access to more players. More players will be able to access the game if it is on console, because there are maybe 5% of Roblox players are probably on console, maybe a bit more, perhaps a bit less, but that's still 5% more players that could be on ERLC if it was on console. But I guess one of the other bad things about it being on console is that it could lag quite a bit, but I do have a solution for that. Has having high ping ever annoyed you inside of ERLC, whether you're trying to chase someone, whether you're just driving normally and someone crashes into you, or anything even similar to that? Well, if it has affected you, you will know it's very, very annoying. However, I have the perfect solution, and it is called GearUP Booster. So this app is completely free to download and is available for thousands of games, and as you can see, all of the games I own show up just here. So in game currently, as you can see, my ping is very, very high, but if we come over here and press boost here to activate it, as you can see, my ping is now much lower, and I even got below 30 ping at one point. So try it out and see how low you can get. Thousands of people use this, and many of your favorite YouTubers will also use it too. And of course, this isn't against the rules of Roblox, and you won't get banned for using it or just trying it out. It's available on PC and mobile, and you can check it out from the description if you want to try it yourself. But another reason it could be good on console is that it will bring the developers a lot more money. I mean, think about it. The developers develop ERLC and manage and run ERLC as their job, like especially Mr. Fergie and all the lead developers, it's their job. If they do add it to console, there'll be more players that can buy more game passes and buy more features inside of the game, which of course generates them more Robux, which can help fund better updates and things like that. So yes, it does have benefits, and that's the thing. If they add it to console, all of these things will happen, but the problem with adding it to console is that, well, it will take a lot of time. I mean, if they wanted to add it to console, you've got to think every single thing you see on your screen right now, all of this will have to be completely different. All of the tools will have to work in a different way. The cell phone will have to work in a specific way, and they'll probably have to change a lot of the code to make it work. The driving license, how could you show it to someone? Would you even need to show it to someone if you can't actually speak to someone? I don't know. The flashlight has not really much to do with that, but fireworks, you know what I mean? The scanner, how would the scanner work? What's the point in having the scanner if you can't actually see any chats? You know what I mean? Same with the RFID disruptor. Let's think about robberies. How will you do robberies on a console? It will be so much more difficult, so difficult to the point where they'll probably have to change around all the difficulty levels, and what is now the easy will probably become the hard mode on console, and they'll have to add easier levels before that. And of course, then you have the problem of, well, isn't that just unfair, because you can get more money easier on console and then just go on your PC and have loads of money much easier. And there are so many things to do with this. Car robberies has to be completely changed. All of the teams have to be changed. What you do on every team, how you arrest people, how you sight people, how you spawn in vehicles, how you use the vehicle customization menu, every single thing will have to be changed for console. The money system, the game passes, literally everything has to be changed, and they'll probably also have to change a lot to do with the graphical settings as well, because ERLC probably will lag quite a bit, especially on older consoles, so it will take a huge amount of time and effort from the developers to get it working on console. And whilst I did say there would be more players on console, that's true, but the amount of players extra will probably be under 1,000 at the best of days. You might see the player base go from 15,000 to 16,000 concurrent players on the day of an update, but for the amount of time it's taken them, is it really worth it when they could have instead put all of that time into a huge update for everyone that can currently play the game, and then get more players from people that are on PC, which is most of Roblox's player base anyway? They could bring themselves a lot more traffic and a lot more players by doing that instead of going through all the effort of adding it onto a console. And it could also cost the developers a lot of money, because of course they will have to pay for advertisements ideally to get it on console, so that people that are on console now actually know that ERLC is available on console. But also, like I said, for the developers, they will have to pay developers a lot of money to make it console playable. Like I said, they'll have to change everything, which will cost them a lot of money for developers to do it, and time is money, right? And like I said, there is no chat at all on Xboxes or PlayStations. That makes it almost impossible. Like, I know I spoke about this before, but imagine playing it on Xbox or console but not being able to say anything. If you go into a public server or a private server or any server on ERLC and try and play it properly and enjoyably, interacting with other people without actually using the chat or voice chat, it will be very, very difficult to do. Now, the best suggestion I have, if they are thinking of doing this, is having something similar to what is on the police team with quick chats here. This is probably the only way they would be able to do it. Civilians probably won't be able to really communicate, and you'll probably just have to play by yourself as such. But if you're a police officer, maybe you can still talk and communicate slightly with other officers by doing the request backup or pressing on scene, and then when new calls come through you can do that, because in the police radio you don't have to chat. You can communicate with each other perfectly fine without sending any messages in the police chat. It definitely is possible, it's just really difficult. And things like, how would you contact the fire if you need to? You can't just request backup here. I mean, you can if they want to keep up the high realism standards of ERLC, then they will need to probably think of a different way around doing this, which will be difficult, as I've already said. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Personally, I think it would be cool to have it on Xbox, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, and of course there are ways around this. There are games similar to ERLC that are on console, so there's definitely solutions for it. It just takes a long time to develop, think of, and of course create these solutions. And the ultimate question is it worth their time? Do you think they should add it to console, or do you think they should or do you think they should instead spend all of that time working on new updates for PC, mobile and tablet players? Let me know in the comments, let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. Check out all of the links in the description as well. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!